On today's episode, we're going to see if my tetanus shot is still good. What's up, nerds? Found this guy at one of these sketchy roadside flea markets. You know the type, they're off the main highway, they're only open certain weekends. And it's just a collection of old storage sheds that are kind of linked together via torn and beat up Harbor Freight tarps. The place smells like mold and mildew, and it looks like a landfill just pretty much threw up there. And, I love these places. They're the best place to go to find good junk like this. I mean, sure, you could go to these, upscale antique malls and thrift stores that have, air conditioning and doors and a paved parking lot. But these little sketchy places are the best place to get these kind of deals. And I'm kind of throwing the term deal around loosely because I paid $10 for this. And I know all the comments are going to be, well, you paid $10 too much for this. But I saw it, I plugged it in, I turned it on, I heard the 60 cycle hum kick in, and I got a gray screen on it. And that was good enough for me. The main reason I got it is basically for nostalgic reasons. You see, my grandfather had one almost exactly like this. It came as part of a computer bundle that he got from, I think it was CompUSA. It came with a monitor, the tower, the keyboard, mouse, and a stack of rebate coupons a mile high. And he had been using a Commodore 64 for 10 or 15 years, and he finally migrated to the world of PC. So when he got it, he wanted me to help him set it up, and I was happy to oblige. And the thing I remember most about this was the look of this. Packard Bell in the mid 90s, I guess they were trying to be Apple without being Apple. They were going for designs that were not just beige industrial boxes. Some of them were actually really cool and kind of outlandish. They were going for kind of a Art Deco, I guess, kind of look. And this monitor is no exception. It had these speakers that looked like they were integrated into it, kind of a wraparound feature when they just kind of attached to the outer shell. I don't know how good the speakers were, the quality of them, or the monitor for that matter, but it looked good. I mean, Packard Bell back then, they were known as a mid-lower tier computer, like a good entry level, not as bad as E-machines, but not really high up as the Dells and things of the day that were really up there in the IBMs, of course. But they were a very popular and solid choice for a beginner entry-level PC. This one has a build date of February of 96, which is 29 years old, and it looks every bit its age. It's only got one hardwired SVGA cable, so there's no any additional inputs or anything to go in this thing. And when I did turn it on and plug it in, after I let it sit a little bit, there was an occasional tick followed by a screen flicker. That could be capacitors going bad, or it could be the flyback transformer going bad. I really don't know. We're going to know more when we dig into this and see if it needs a recapping, if we can even get a replacement flyback for this guy here. But I definitely want to at least clean this guy off and see what we've got. Maybe just a good cleaning and, reflow some solder joints. That might take care of the problem. And we'll have a massive 14-inch diameter screen to, I don't know, use on one of my retro computers. But it looks cool. And that's the real draw of this monitor. All right, so I've got it hooked up to my roadside fine DOS computer here. I'm going to power this thing up and see if we get, let's see, let me turn it on. Little green light. We got power. Heard the little 60 cycle, there it is. And the screen's not rolling, it's just the refresh rate is different from the camera in my phone. So we're going to power on this guy, cross our fingers. Oh, there we go. Nice picture. I mean, relatively. I mean, any kind of distortion and flicker is definitely the frame rate difference in the camera. In real life, it's steady. And yeah, it looks pretty good. And you have these analog controls here. There's nothing digital controlled about this. Let's see. This is the up and down. There's the vertical size right there, left and right. There's the, yep, that works. Brightness, contrast. That's the one of them. Sharpness, whatever they want to call it. Here's a contrast right there. So, yeah, at least it works. No magic smoke. Um, really good picture. I mean, surprisingly, I don't see any burn in. The only problem is all this grime and dirt right there, which hopefully comes off. So, yeah, we'll set the roadside DOS computer to the side and start tearing this thing down and see what we got. I was hoping the speakers had like an internal transformer or something that it could tap off the power supply for the monitor, but it's just a little barrel jack, DC input, but they're not saying how much. I guess I'll start at 5 and work my way up. It's probably 12. This wire is shot to hell, so I'm going to have to replace that, I guess. You have another input from the left, which is one of the other speakers here. Speaker jacks, low mono. You plug in. I mean, it's kind of bulky and whatever. It gets the job done. As far as controls, the only thing I see on this, I'm assuming this is the volume. And this, the treble clef, I'm going to assume that's a tone control maybe. I don't know. So as soon as I find the correct transformer for this, I'll get to cleaning it, which means I'll just kind of scrub this down and repaint it because I don't think there's enough chemicals in the world to get this. I don't know if that's surface rust or stains. I mean, I don't even want to know what that is. Like all of this gunk right here. I really should be wearing like industrial, hazmat gloves fooling with this guy, but living life on the edge, folks. Living life on the edge. When I took the speakers off, you could see the original color of this thing. It was really white as compared to the UV and or nicotine staining this thing had over the years. I'll try and get it as clean as I can, but if I can't, at least the speakers will just mask it and we'll just pretend that, it was tan or dark beige. It'll be our little secret. 12 volts DC was the magic number for these guys. Got them plugged in and I can hear a little bit of a, noise, hum. It's just the crappy cables going in there are providing zero insulation from surrounding any kind of electrical interference. I have this loaded up with some era-appropriate music. Let's test it out. Yep, Chumbawamba. Volume works. That's the volume. That's the tone. Yeah. So, song quality wise, yeah, we know that's garbage. Sound quality wise, that's garbage as well. Playing with the tone, there is pretty much just treble. There's no bass, no nothing. I mean, I know these things weren't the highest of fidelity, but if I've got to take these apart to clean them, I might see about maybe swapping some speakers out. I have a whole stack of salvage speakers from flat panel TVs and stuff like that I pick up. We'll try and see if I can find a replacement in there and clean this up a bit, electronically and physically. But I'm not getting rid of that test CD. I'm going to torture you guys with that forever now. So there you go. And now for the warning / disclaimer for you litigious knuckleheads who watch stuff on YouTube videos, try it, get injured, and try and sue the content creators. So be warned. CRTs have thousands of volts stored in the various capacitors and in the tube and everything, down in the electronics, everything. This thing can literally kill you if you don't know what you're doing. So we always ground a screwdriver to the chassis and we're going to discharge the voltage if there's any remaining in here by hard to see, but you're gonna kind of lift up this cover. Don't touch anything further in there, just enough to get your screwdriver in and make contact with the little metal prongs that are coming off of this cable. That'll discharge it. If this had a substantial charge, you would have heard a pop, but it's bled down enough and it's safe to work on now. So there it is, the disclaimer warning part. Back to the video. I got this as cleaned up as I could. I mean, blowing it out with the compressed air, wiping down what I could, trying to get rid of some of the surface rust a little bit. Everything looks great in here. I was going to remove the chassis and go over all of that, but the minute I started trying to remove things, I was instantly reminded that 40-year-old or 30-year-old plastics love to break apart. They get brittle very easily. So this is working decently right now. I mean, if it was not working, I would attempt to take this out, but it's working decently right now. So if it ain't broke, I ain't going to fix it because I'm just going to destroy these plastics on this housing here. And that is, yeah, you just can't get these housings anymore. So what I'm going to do, I was planning on taking these out, cleaning it, possibly retro-brighting it. But what I might do is just mask off what I can and just go over it with a light coat or two of an off-white paint and just kind of see what happens. Going to kind of cheat that way. I'd rather just paint that over and have a fully intact monitor that works than a monitor that works maybe a little bit better than before, but the housing and everything is totally shot to hell on it. So we're going to do the cheater route on it. All right. Well, that came out a lot better than I thought it would. The only problem I had was that I couldn't mask off the Packard Bell name. So I was able to mask this little emblem off and the little LED pass-through right there, and the screen, of course. What I might do is get some rubbing alcohol and just gently work right over just the lettering enough to see if I can bring that out without taking out any of the new paint. The rear housing of this is drying right now on the side. So this is a much better decision than risking breaking the housing and trying to retro-bright, because that's not even a guarantee either. And retro-brighting will also, that'll kind of weaken the plastic as well. So as brittle as it is and old as it is, it would be even more brittle if I did the retro-bright. This at least has a nice coat of protective UV resilient paint on it now. It's color matched pretty well. And we'll get the housing back on it. And the monitor part should be complete. It's working fine. And after that, we'll move on to the speakers, which I found out how to take apart. And they won't come off because now the video is wrong. Oh, here it is. That's all there is. Little, maybe a 1-watt amp in there. Little speaker. It's in good shape. Just sounds like crap. So, yeah, and there's no real way to get this grill off. So I might have to just paint over the grill. I don't know. I might take out the speaker. I have to get the heat gun, heat up this hot glue, slide it out, and see if I can push it through the speaker hole. Maybe that's the key. We'll find out. I'll be back. Disassembling these speakers was a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be. Originally, these speakers were just kind of slid in here, and they were held on, actually just held in place with some hot glue right on the corners. And I figured, well, I could just get a little heat gun, put it on a low setting, melt the hot glue and slide it out. Little did I know, the hot glue must have had a higher temperature melting point than the plastic, because kind of had like a little oopsie moment here. Actually kind of scorched the side there. A little paint will fix that up. But yeah, who knew? I mean, if you're going to use that high of a quality hot glue, why not just make the whole speaker out of hot glue then? Who knows? Anyway, got it out. We can kind of work around this. These are just supports. mounting screws will still go through there. And also, when I took the the grill off, I found this fabric, I guess they put behind it to mask the hole, but it's really thick. So it'll muffle any high end that these speakers will produce. I'll get it behind here. Yeah, these also kind of ruined the speaker with the with the heat gun. So, oops. I have 2 more on the way, so that's a good thing. But I don't understand why they would use such a thick cloth for just a cheap speaker grill. So what I'm going to do is just paint this back part here black. The speaker cone I'm getting is already black, so you're not going to see really anything behind it. Give this guy a nice coat of paint, get rid of all like the rust and stains and whatever. And hopefully these will be good as okay. So that's it. These speakers are just junk, but they look good. So that's, that's something. Got my speakers in from Parts Express. They were on closeout, only 92 cents a piece. I thought I could use some speakers from my stash that I've harvested from the flat panel TVs in the past, but I realized I needed something magnetically shielded, because if you put a magnet close to an old CRT, it gets all rainbowy and crazy. So these are perfect. They fit the bill, and they were almost the right size. As you can see, the height wise of these, perfect size. Width wise, yeah, we're going to need to do some creative drilling here or whatever with my Dremel tool. But I've marked these out where the screw holes go. Made a little template that I'll just put on this, and we'll get to modding, and we'll see how that works. Speakers are done. I mean, it's kind of difficult to see them because of the flat paint. I even put additional lighting in here to see that, but yeah, with the black, I guess the plate here painted and the speaker, it's really nice and covert. And I don't know if you can see it, but you probably can't. I can't even see it. But one speaker had to be a little bit lower than the other to accommodate for the electronics that are like right here, the volume and tone control. And as you can see, I was also able to get the grills off. It took a little prying and prodding, but they came out, and what I did, I sanded them down and I coated them with a slightly metallic pearl white. So this will look, really decent. So I'm going to put these back together, and we'll attach them to the monitor, and one step closer to being finished. Yep, much better. Can't help the music selection though, but it's good torture material. Enjoy. All right, everything's back together and looking really, really good. It's amazing what a little cleaning and a little coat of paint will do. Also upgraded speakers. So yeah, this thing came out really well. I mean, it's showing its sign of age. You can see the plastic is already warped from, and I really didn't notice it before with all the dirt and stuff on it. So it's another case of, this thing is only going to get more fragile and breakable. So just do what we can to kind of just, keep it going. And I love the way the speakers just kind of wrap around here. And yeah, the grill came out really good. Didn't need that grill cloth behind it. Shows up really well. And as far as the sound, let me, with the computer, let's see if I can get the mic close enough and get some copyright free stuff going here. My LGR would be proud. But this is just a small example. I mean, I didn't have my Windows 98 rig set up and ready to run this. I just had this little guy ready to go. So it's sort of era appropriate, but I do have something that's a little bit later, but still kind of era appropriate, and it really matches the aesthetic of these speakers. Hang tight. Boom. My favorite console of all time, Sega Dreamcast. I'm using a Dreamcast to VGA adapter. Wow, the volume is super loud. Picture is really good. I mean, it's just awesome. I'm running the GDEMU, so I have all these guys loaded on a little flash card down here. And let's see. Got to go with the favorite game here. Let it load up. Let it see the picture, and we'll get about 3 seconds into the game because of all the music is very copyright flagging, I guess, with the Offspring starts it off. Gotta adjust this too. There's a, I guess it offsets. Let's see. Yeah. See what I said? So if I hit the start button.
Crazy taxi.
We'll just let it run a little bit, just I guess in demo mode maybe.
It's party time. Let's have some fun.
But the colors are, the camera doesn't do it justice. The colors are nice and vibrant. And let me see if I turn down the volume maybe. I'll show you some of the gameplay. Go to arcade. Now I'm going to be, let's see if I can put it up on here real quick. And jack it up a little bit. That's just a refresh rate. The color didn't drop out on me. It looks good. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, in demo mode, that'll work. But you can see, nice, smooth. Or did it just start on its own? I think it just started on its own. Just kind of trying to watch what I'm recording and watching the video here. And it's been a while since I played this guy. And I'm using just the joy or the hand controller, not the steering wheel and pedals, which make all the difference in the world. Yeah. Rule number one, you stay off the streets. You know, run the people off the sidewalk. That's what they're there for. Oh, see right there. So that's it. Yeah, I think I might just use this as a Dreamcast monitor because the speakers are built in. It sounds really good. I mean, let's see. Turn the volume, see if I can. But yeah, built-in speakers. The picture's good, and yeah, for something I found at a questionably sketchy flea market, it was covered in dirt, grime, mold, and God knows what. A little cleaning and some touch-up paint, new speakers. Yeah, this thing is in great shape now. And I'll be able to enjoy it for, I don't know. I don't want to jinx it and say many, many years because it'll break, 3 seconds after the camera stops rolling. So we'll just say I'll continue to enjoy this for as long as I can. But I have the option of Dreamcast, or if I want to use one of my old retro rigs, my Windows 98 rig or whatever, to run maybe some DOS games like Doom or something like that. On a CRT, they look infinitely better than an LCD. So that being said, this video is done. Once again, guys, I appreciate you watching and sticking this out. Sorry this thing wasn't a major repair, just a slight cleaning. But sometimes, you don't have to totally restore something. You don't have to break it all down and clean it all up, especially if it's at risk of breaking while you're restoring it. Sometimes it's best just to clean it up, put a little coat of paint on it, and just go with what you have and enjoy it while you can, because the tube is going to go out eventually. You cannot replace those. Flyback transformers probably going to go. Cannot replace those with anything brand new. So when that goes, probably the best and most sacrilegious thing is to put a small LCD in there. But I got this monitor because of the aesthetics of it and the way it looks. The tube, it's not like a Trinitron. It's not this high-end tube. It's this no-name, cheap Chinese tube that miraculously has survived for almost 30 years. So we lucked out kind of, and we'll we'll take that as a win. So until next time, you guys take it easy.